Hi, this is Jean Robin, French journalist, publisher, and soldier of Christ. I'm here to present you for the first time a European broadcast about Islamization of Europe and the fight against it. I'm talking to you from French Polynesia, a still free part of France where there's no Islam. I've moved here 3 years ago. The locals were able to kick out Islam when they wanted to implement here a mosque from Saudi Arabia. And so they kicked them out. And so this is a free part of France. And so this is the resistance talking to you. And I'm doing this program that I will try to do on a monthly basis to try to unite the European resistance against Islam, because there's no way around this, I think. And so I will be presenting to you the news of the resistance against Islam throughout Europe, and in 2 languages, in French and in English. So the same program you will see today in English will be broadcasted as well in France and in French. So the videos in English will be translated into French for the French edition, and the videos in French will be translated in English for the English edition. And this way, I hope it will help the European patriots to know each other better and to work together better in the near future against the same enemy that we all face. So all this is done basically with non-existent means, so please bear with me and be indulgent. And here is our summary. So we'll start with France and the conviction of Pierre Cassan and of Christine Tazin. And we'll finish this French section with President Macron, who's trying to make up a new Islam in France. Then we'll talk about England, our dear friend Tommy Robinson, and his interview on the BBC regarding the events of Finsbury Mosque. Then we'll talk about our friend from Hungary, Viktor Orban. And then we'll go to Spain to watch how the situation is moving over there. Not well. Then we'll continue our trip into Europe with Germany. And again, Tommy Robinson, he's gone to Germany to cover the weekly demonstrations in Germany, and especially East Germany, against Islam and Islamization. Then we move to Denmark, where you'll see some Islamists demonstrate for Sharia. And then Sweden, with a report of the 60 Minutes English report about what's going on in the no-go zones in Denmark. In Sweden, sorry. And we'll finish with Italy, with the elections going on, and the leader of Ligue du Nord, this ally of Berlusconi, will see what he has to say about Islamization. Okay, let's go. So we'll start with Pierre Cassan and a short video that he has made to tell you about his recent conviction, which is really stupid, as usual with the French justice. But if you don't know about Riposte Laïque, who is the movement and the press he's created back in 2007, you'll get to know this guy, very courageous guy, and he will explain you now what's the purpose of this conviction, and I will try to translate live what he has to say. So let's go. Dear friends, I prefer to talk to you about Islamization. I would prefer to talk to you about Macron's imposture about French Islam. I would prefer to talk to you about immigration under the banner is Islam, but I'm going to talk to you about Riposte Laïque and myself. I've just been convicted, 3 months in jail, but not in jail. And since 7 or 8 years we've been convicted of over 70,000 euros, but it's the first time that a prison sentence has been given, so it's with deferment, but still prison. And we still have dozens of procedures that are waiting for us. So deferment will be changed to concrete prison whenever we're convicted again. So why did that happen? It's a crazy story. Even though I was not convicted for the same story, even though we looked at my phone, we looked at my computer, and the prosecutor decided once everything was settled that I was not in charge of this article and of Riposte Laïque, the same prosecutor judged me again on the very same facts, the very same article. Our lawyers say, we've never seen that, we don't understand. A little detail, I was not there. Other detail, my lawyer was not even present, simply because we were not told. So, in our absence, I had 2 other lawsuits on the same day, in our absence, and those people decided that we had 3 months with deferment. When I was not convicted last time, the prosecutor asked for 6 months. And now I just hear 3 months, I'm not here. My lawyer just goes to appeal. We were not there. There could not be any confrontation, but my last chance is that I do confrontation. I'm going to put all my energy in this opposition. But while waiting this, my situation is this one. So, just like many patriots in France, we're threatened by the French justice. J.R. Boyajan, Génération Identitaire, all the ones who critique Islamization of France. And what's next is not really funny. On the 21st of March, there's a new process in appeal, because it's an appeal from associations and so on. Another one from Caroline Forest, who thought she was behind, she was talked about in an article, who talked about traitor, and I'm sure it's me, she said, and so she, and since it's alleged that I'm the director of publication, it's me again. And so it's easy to say, he's been convicted twice, so let's go, even though I've been not convicted on 3 occasions. On the 23rd of May, it's really a caricature between Clavreul and another lawsuit that I don't even remember. I have to be in front of 2 different judges at the same time, so it's crazy. So there's really a harassment. The last lawsuit is June 2019 with the former Minister of Interior. So, my dear friends of Riposte Laïque and patriots, I call you for help, sorry. And they're trying to shut us up. They're trying to prevent the denunciation of Islamization of France and Europe. Macron, and they're trying to shut us up, and especially Riposte Laïque. So we call a new call for money, really, because it costs a lot of money, all these lawsuits. You can send us checks. You can go on the website ripostelaïque.com and click on the right button. We need you. If you don't want them to shut us up, you need to help us. Patriots. Well, this was done a few weeks ago, and and since then the opposition didn't work. So he really has to face this condemnation. Okay, now we move to Christine Tazin conviction, and so this time I translated what happened to her, she didn't make a video, but I'm going to read you what she wrote on her site, Résistance Républicaine. So, as expected, in view of the progress of my appeal on behalf of Islam Assassin, so basically she said Islam Assassin, which you can translate as Islam murderer. It was just after the murder of two policemen, one couple of policemen, a policeman and a policewoman in Magnanville, if you heard about this. So she said publicly Islam Assassin, and so it's a really blaspheme, but she's been convicted once because of this, and this was the appeal, and she's been convicted twice. So she says, as expected, in view of the progress of my appeal on behalf of Islam Assassin, with judges and a prosecutor of a subjectivity and bad faith staggering, my conviction in first instance is maintained. So 1,500 euros plus 2,000 euros from the different associations, LICRA and LDH, with registration in the criminal record. History of condemning me in turn to prison at the next conviction for recidivism. They know what they do. So that's what Christine Tazin says, and it shows you, if you needed proof, that the blaspheme is forbidden as far as Islam is concerned in France. All right, and last but not least, as far as France is concerned, Macron, our dear president. So the president of the province France within the European Union. Not to mention that here in French Polynesia we're not even in the European Union, so it's really a good place. And so Macron spoke on the 11th of February about what he wants to do with Islam, and in a short interview in the Sunday newspaper JDD, he said he confirms his intention to lay the foundations of the entire organization of Islam in France in the first half of 2018. And I quote, "I will not make a proposal until the work is done," he adds cautiously, ensuring he continues to consult a lot in the meantime. "I see intellectuals and academics, such as Gilles Kepel, representatives of all religions, because I consider that we must be strongly inspired by our history, the history of Catholics and that of Protestants." So I don't know how to understand this quote, really, because the Catholics murdered Protestants for a long part of our history in France, and there's basically not many Protestants left. But I think he means that all religions are equal, as he stated many times, and that he considers Islam just like any other religion. So, you know, that's the dogma of equality in France that kills us all, because Islam is the enemy, and it's not just a religion, it's a dogma, it's a law, and it's a military strategy. So Macron is wrong, obviously, and he's the traitor of France and of Europe with Merkel and all the ones we know. So now we move to England. Our dear friends from England who saved us, who helped save us in the last World War, and now they're under the same enemy as we are. So Tommy Robinson, one of the greatest resistance to Islam throughout the world, really, and throughout Europe. So he was interviewed at the beginning of this month of February by the BBC, and this was following the Finsbury Park event, when a far-right guy just mowed down some Muslims in front of a mosque, and of course the media, the left-wing media, accused Tommy Robinson of being responsible, kind of this guy. So here is an excerpt of this interview by the BBC.
What he did was, and there was evidence that actually he'd been looking you up on the internet quite a lot, and he had looked at and copied tweets, 2 tweets particularly, and they were on the dashboard. So you had tweeted exactly what you're saying. "Where was the day of rage after the terrorist attacks? All I saw was lighting candles."
Can I ask
and
you
the other
quickly,
one is anger. When a Muslim bombed our kids, we were told not to look back in anger. Yeah. What was the purpose of those tweets?
Can I ask you, you know the first message you just read, are you going to put a screenshot of that on your screen? Because you've just completely took that out of context. What that was was after Grenfell happened, far-left organisations were had a day of rage planned. They had leaflets calling for a day of rage. You've got that leaflet because that was part of that tweet, but you've purposely left the leaflet out of it and you're making it sound like I said, let's have a day of rage. What I was showing people was the hypocrisy in our country that when our children are blown to pieces...
in this trial...
What you've actually just done is misrepresented the truth of a tweet. That's what you've done on this show on purpose.
Anger. When a Muslim bombed our kids, we were told not to look back in anger. What was the purpose of that tweet? Because that tweet was on the dashboard of Darren Osborne's van when he attacked.
Why are you not sitting here reading? Darren Osborne wrote the reasons why he done this attack. Why are we not talking about the reasons why he done this attack? Shall I tell you one of the reasons why he done the attack? What he wrote? No,
he obsessively looked you up online. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, all I'm saying is he wrote, terrorists march through our country today. There was an Al-Quds march. Now, the problem I have is that you're the BBC News and you did not report on that.
All I'm saying is, do you accept that there is a lot of hate speech about, and you've condemned that from other people, for example, Anjem Chowdhury, who's now in jail. Do you take any responsibility for that being hate speech?
You think that's hate speech?
I'm asking.
No, do you think that's hate speech?
I'm asking you if it's hate speech.
No, it's categorically not. It's impossible. You have Muslims in this country, in mosques across this country, calling for the death of homosexuals, calling for the takeover of our country. That's real hate speech. Me saying don't look back in anger, me putting these tweets is not hate speech in any way.
Why do you think that he obsessively looked for you online? Because actually it's the case that you were presenting in a way that encouraged him to take action against people.
Absolutely unbelievable that you're saying that. 49 million people watched my videos in that 4-week period. No, excuse me, and 193 million people read my tweets. Yeah. The reason why people are searching for me is because I give them the truth, unlike you. You're not giving them the truth.
Can I just say, Tommy Robinson, yes. The fact is,
yes.
After he attacked outside Finsbury Mosque,
which he gave you a reason why,
he wrote a letter, and in that letter he quoted your tweet. All I'm asking you is, do you have any feeling? He did.
Please, for your viewers.
It was heard in court.
For your viewers.
It was heard in court.
For your viewers, read what he said. I'll tell you what he said. He quoted Sadiq Khan. He said, just part and parcel of living in a big city. He quoted Jeremy Corbyn.
He quoted you.
No, he didn't quote me.
He did. He quoted you in the tweet. He quoted you in his letter. He quoted that tweet.
Please tell me what
he quoted that.
No, he didn't.
Anger when a Muslim bombed our kids, we were told not to look back in anger.
Do you know what that was? No, he said don't look back in anger. He didn't say that exact words. He said don't look back in anger. The front page of the Sun newspaper after the Manchester attack was don't look back in anger. He didn't quote me, he quoted the national newspaper.
Do you deny that he quoted you in any way?
Yes, no, he gave reasons why he done this.
So he did quote you?
No, he didn't quote me. I can't believe why you're not even looking at the reasons. I can't believe you're not looking at the fact we had 3 massive terrorist attacks. We have 22,000...
This is not what this is about.
No, this is the reason why he done it.
This is about the rise of right-wing extremism and people being radicalised very quickly online, in court. And indeed, the commander of anti-terrorism at the Met said that people are radicalised within 4 weeks.
I'm embarrassed for the BBC. We had 3 terrorist attacks in quick succession, and rather than talk about them as a radicalising factor for why this man reacted, he told you why he reacted. You want to put it on the fact. You want to put it on the fact that I report the truth.
Excuse me, can I just say, terrorist attacks are appalling. Nobody is doubting that. All I'm saying is.
So you don't think the terrorist attacks had anything to do with the reason why he done this? You think it was because You think it's because I said don't look back in anger?
Is that what your argument is? I'm asking that there are contributory factors, and he was radicalised online, and the prosecution and the courts and the police said that he obsessively looked at for you online and quoted your tweets. That's a fact.
No, the fact is, his wife said he was radicalised after your BBC documentary.
Do you think
what's
the difference between the hate speech that you produced and the hate speech that Anjem Chowdhury produces?
Why don't you sit the producer of that documentary down here and ask him if he feels responsible?
Okay, now we move to Hungary, and our dear friend Viktor Orban, who's really a great fighter against Islam, and this is what he has to say about his near future for his country within the European Union.
A Fidesz elnökségi ülése a tegnapi nap során megtárgyalta a belgák miniszterelnökének bejelentését, miszerint a közép-európaiakat, köztük Magyarországot is, ha kell, erővel kényszerítik arra, hogy migránsokat fogadjunk be. A terv szerint ez júniusban a miniszterelnökök brüsszeli csúcsértekezletén következik be. Az elnökségünk állást foglalt, nem engedhetünk a zsarolásnak, számunkra Magyarország az első, harcolni fogunk azokkal szemben, akik meg akarják változtatni Magyarország és Európa keresztény identitását.
So this is all great and well, but if we could give an advice to dear Mr. Orban, is that he organizes a referendum to get out of the European Union as fast as possible, because, you know, this would be the great solution to this problem. Anyway, now we move to Spain, and as you can see in a viral video that popped up this February, Islam is back in Spain after 800 years of occupation, and here you can see it at the Alhambra. Here we go. Okay, now we move to Germany. One protest is organized every week, it seems, in some cities in Germany, and especially East Germany, sorry, that was occupied by the communists, and so they don't want another totalitarianism such as Islam to occupy them, and so they're much more aware of this threat than the West Germany is, because they were in just like us in France and England and so many other countries in Europe. They were prosperous under capitalism, but in East Germany it's not the same, and so Tommy Robinson was there again to cover this. And since no media, mainstream media, are going to cover this, Tommy Robinson did the work, and here is some excerpts of his report.
We're in East Germany, in Cottbus, and this is a massive demonstration. Germany is under attack, the German population under attack. In the last 2 weeks, we've seen a 15-year-old German girl brutally murdered and raped by Afghani migrants. In this town, we've seen a 16-year-old child have his face slit open by Syrian migrants. The people have had enough, and I think you're witnessing the start of something huge that's going to develop across Germany this summer. Angela Merkel has invited millions of young Muslim men who come from countries where there are no women's rights. They do not respect women. This is the real Me Too movement.
There were several attacks with knives from young migrants against Germans, but perhaps more important is that the atmosphere has changed. There's an atmosphere of fearing, of feeling unsafe in public space. And that is not a special problem of Cottbus, it's a problem all over the country.
I've spoke to a lot of people off camera. I've spoke to women who are scared to go out at night, but they're also scared to have their face on camera, because they're scared of the repercussions from violence and from the government and the police.
Right, that's exactly the situations. People feel that the protest is not well accepted by authorities. They fear to lose their jobs.
It's not just like you lose your job, it's also like if your husband is known to have this or that opinion, you can also, the wife can get in trouble, or the other way around.
You've travelled here today from Kandel, where there were demonstrations just 2 weeks ago. Can you tell us what happened in Kandel?
Well, there was a young girl, she was stabbed by an Afghan migrant in a supermarket.
So she was murdered?
Yes, she was murdered. She was stabbed. Yes.
Can I ask you, as a German woman, as a lady, how do you feel? How are German women feeling at the minute?
I feel scared. I feel scared for my life, for the lives of my niece and my nephews, for everyone. And every woman is scared in Germany. I think so, because you cannot tell what's happening next, you know?
Do the media call you names? Do the media say you're racist?
Yes.
Or you?
Yes, we're racists. We're the brown base of Germany, things like that. So
unbelievable.
Yeah, unbelievable. In the West and East, we have to come together, because it's happening everywhere in Germany.
The reason why this is so... No, it's not. Okay, can I speak to you? Can I speak to you? Are you a journalist?
No, but I tell you that
are you a
she's
journalist?
not telling the
Oh, no,
truth.
okay, can I
Yeah,
ask
I'm
you?
journalist.
Okay,
I'm
can I?
from Berlin.
Okay, so you're from
No,
Berlin.
I just say,
oh look, no,
I
she
just
won't
say,
talk. You're a
no.
journalist.
Yeah,
Well, you said she's not telling the
then
truth,
do
so answer a
research.
question.
Do research.
Okay, I'll do research. I was a 16-year-old.
I said
You're a
no.
journalist. You're a journalist.
I said no.
You're a journalist. You're a journalist. You're a journalist. What's wrong with you?
I said no.
What sort of journalist is this?
If I say no,
No, you're a
then it's
fascist.
no.
You're a fascist.
I'm a fascist.
Yes, you're a fascist. You won't let anyone else have an
I'm a
opinion.
fascist.
Yes, you're a fascist. You are a fascist.
Okay, we
She's
go to the police because you just called me a fascist.
Oh, you want to go to the police? Yeah. You are a fascist. She's going to get the police. Look, that lady's not allowed an opinion. She's told you why she's come here. She's scared. She wants to call her a liar. She wants to call her a Nazi. That's the mainstream media. That is the enemy of the people of Europe. Are you all mainstream media? You're all guilty. You are all guilty of what's happening in Europe. You have done this. You have hid the truth and you label people unfairly as fascists, as Nazis, as racists. You've all got blood on your hands.
I don't get these people. I mean, they see, are they blind or something? In the mainstream news, you cannot see. They don't show us everything. But if you look out and you inform yourself, yes, you see that every day something's happening right now.
And what do you think of the fact that she wouldn't even talk then?
You cannot talk with them. They're blinded. I don't know.
So now we move to Scandinavia, but first Denmark, with a demonstration of Islamists in the street that could remind you of the Nazi demonstrations in the streets back in 1930, back in the 1930s. Sorry, so you could see now Islamists just demonstrate in the streets of Denmark asking for Sharia law. Here we go. Remaining in Scandinavia, you have Sweden, one of the worst countries as far as rapes are concerned, and we know all why. So the English channel, I don't know which one, but under the name of 60 Minutes, they did a report on the no-go zones in Sweden, and it was out this February, so here's a short excerpt as well.
For all its generosity, Sweden is now grappling with communities of disaffected migrants who can't find jobs and have few prospects. The country's image was shattered 3 years ago when riots broke out in the Stockholm suburb of Husby. There are now 55 declared no-go zones in Sweden where police have to escort ambulances to ensure their safety. And as we found out, the temperature is similar in the suburb of Rinkeby, home to mostly Somali migrants. Within minutes of us arriving, a group of young men make it clear we're not wanted and deliberately run down our cameraman.
Whoops! Nej men vad fan!
Hey, 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 hey.
Go on! Shit! What happened?
You all right?
Your leg?
Are you all right?
It's a little more hostile than I had anticipated.
Okay, welcome to Rinkeby. It's also called Little Mogadishu.
And is that what you're worried about for the future of Sweden? That clash, this clash?
Yes, of course. Now, one of your film crew members was run over by a car here, and it took us 1.5 minutes. So
yes, we're literally just out of the car, and aggression.
And they didn't have any reason to do that, did they?
No, well, definitely not.
No.
We call the police.
To be honest, we hadn't anticipated such intense aggression. Our cameraman was literally...
And even they fear their presence will be provocative.
I think it's better if you go in without us, because I think it would be...
very aggressive.
Yeah,
okay,
we're young. So we will stay here, and if it is...
That's fine.
You watch us.
Perfect.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Majority here are Muslims from East Africa, and they don't assimilate well into the Swedish culture and society, and they're unemployed. and they're poor. So you add all these factors together, and their youth are feeling marginalized and don't speak Swedish very well, so they don't get jobs or get into the Swedish youth culture either.
But not everyone is hostile.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my cousin lives in Melbourne.
Many locals are polite and friendly and happy to talk.
It's good.
Yeah.
I'm very happy.
But what happened next changed everything. The police leave, and as we prepare to go, young men masking their faces arrive.
Good, we're doing good. You're doing good?
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Take it easy.
Okay, you too.
And attack.
Go! Mate! Go! Don't you touch me! Okay, we're gonna drink.
Excuse me. Please.
Get out of here.
No, we are leaving, but you don't need to hurt us. There's no need to be unkind. Hey,
You can't film. No, don't do it.
The gang's attention turns when a local intervenes and drives his mobility scooter into the most violent attacker.
Move. We've been individually attacked. Soundman has been punched, the producer's been punched, you've been run over, the cameraman. We've all been assaulted and insulted. It's best we leave.
For refugees like Marwan, the hostility and the changing mood in his adopted country make him uneasy about his future. There is a part of you that's fearful that you'll be turned back.
Yeah, of course. You always have doubt. We're human beings. We always have to.
And last but not least, shortly there will be elections in Italy with the right of the Northern League and Berlusconi uniting against the left and far left to prevent migration to arrive in Italy and spread in Europe. So this is, if you don't know him, this is an excerpt of the maybe future Prime Minister of Italy, hopefully, from Northern League, and he will tell you what he thinks about Islam.
Nigeriano indagato per l'omicidio di Pamela fosse condannato per una pena inferiore ai 4 anni, la galera non la vede. E secondo una persona normale questo aiuta la pace, la serenità e la convivenza o porta allo scontro sociale? Quindi io condanno ogni genere di violenza senza nessuna giustificazione, ma condanno anche un governo che questa violenza forse la cerca. Forse il PD ha bisogno di coprire il suo nulla cercando la reazione degli italiani, e approvare un salvaladri, uno svuotacarceri in un momento come questo mi sembra veramente folle e irresponsabile.
Ma se lei attribuisce questo gesto di Traini, diciamo, alla responsabilità delle politiche dell'immigrazione del governo, cioè non è un
No, la responsabilità è sempre personale. Non si esce per strada aggredendo, picchiando, minacciando, sparando a gente che passeggia per strada.
L'immigrazione fuori controllo porta allo scontro
L'immigrazione,
sociale.
sì, questo lo dico da anni.
Non è un cavalcare la paura questo?
No, è un risolvere i problemi e un gettare acqua sul fuoco. Se non ci fossero spacciatori clandestini in giro per le nostre strade ci sarebbe qualche reato in meno e qualche problema in meno, evidentemente. Io voglio risolvere i problemi. Prendo atto del fatto che le politiche migratorie degli ultimi governi hanno aumentato questi problemi.
E quindi la gente va a sparare per strada? Cioè, secondo lei qual è il nesso?
Forse non parlo bene l'italiano, guardate il labiale. Non è corretto, non è giusto, non è umano, è delinquenziale aggredire, picchiare, malmenare, minacciare o sparare a gente che passeggia per strada. Punto.
E cosa c'entra con le politiche del governo sull'immigrazione?
Punto a capo. La condanna c'è. Punto a capo. Frase numero 2. L'immigrazione fuori controllo aiuta la pace sociale o porta allo scontro sociale? Punto di domanda. Frase numero 3. L'immigrazione fuori controllo, oltre a riempire le galere, rischia di innescare una risposta violenta, mai giustificata, a un fenomeno che va controllato. Io voglio andare al governo per controllare l'immigrazione.
E chiudere le moschee, no? Lei è qua per questo.
E chiudere le moschee illegali, voglio sapere chi finanzia, voglio sapere chi c'è dietro, da dove arrivano i soldi, chi predica, cosa predica, perché è un dato di fatto che l'interpretazione letterale del Corano, che non è un testo purtroppo interpretabile come per altre religioni, ma è la parola del profeta, la donna vale meno dell'uomo, la giustizia islamica prevale sulla giustizia italiana, la libertà di pensiero è limitata da quello che prevede il Corano, quindi io non voglio che in casa mia si insedino persone per cui la donna vale meno dell'uomo.
L'articolo 19 della Costituzione preserva la libertà, preserva la libertà di culto di tutti i fedeli. No?
Sì, ripeto, però io non ho mai avuto problemi religiosi e di culto con nessuno. Uno può essere cristiano, ebreo, valdese, buddista, protestante. Il problema dell'Islam è che è una legge, non è una religione. Nel nome di un Dio impone una legge, secondo me incompatibile con i nostri valori, i nostri diritti e le nostre libertà.
Questa moschea in particolare dico che l'ha fatto, cioè in un posto un po' schifoso pure, stiamo...
Sì, ma se dietro c'è un regime islamico fondamentalista che finanzia, perché nel cuore dell'Umbria io devo avere un insediamento di un paese islamico oltranzista che porti...
Dietro, lei lo sa.
No, ci sono fondi del Qatar. No, non è un mistero, non ho servizi di intelligence. Ho detto no a Berlusconi sui condoni edilizi per gli abusi e ribadisco il no per iniziative di questo genere su cui ci sono diverse inchieste aperte.
So that's it. Thank you for watching this first broadcast, news broadcast, European news broadcast in English of the fight against Islamization in Europe. And if you liked it, there's not many, as you could see, I did it with what I had, and so this is not much, but at least the information is broadcasted, and now you get to know better the activity of our patriot friends throughout Europe. And so if you want me to continue this program, just like this video, spread it. Thank you indeed, and long live Europe. Bye.